Okay, sorry for the delay. Thank you for your patience. Try to speak into the speaker as close as possible. This is the September 16th, 2020 meeting of the Jefferson City Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Dale Vaughn. I am the vice chair of the commission. Just want to remind everybody to turn off their cell phones and ask everyone present to please silent phones and other electronics. Now we'll go and have the members introduce themselves, starting with the council liaison.
And so Mr. Graham is not here today.
Okay.
Jack Deacon.
Shannon Hawk.
Dale Vaughn.
Bunny Tricky Cotton.
Emily Fretwell.
Penny Quigg.
Okay. Then we'll have the city staff introduce themselves, starting with Ian Zollinger.
Ian Zollinger, city planner.
Anna Nanisky, city planner.
Sonny Sanders, Director of Planning and Protective Services.
Shane Wade, Public Works Department.
And Eric Barron, Planning Manager for the city. We also have Ryan Molman, our city councilor. Ryan, are you there?
I'm here.
Ryan is here via telephone. So.
Okay, we'll jump into the procedural matters. The city code authorizes 9 regular members and 3 alternatives. Alternatives are designated to vote upon the absence or disqualification of regular members. A quorum of 5 members or alternates is necessary to conduct business. I declare that there is a quorum present. The following regular members are absent this evening: Blake Marcus, Dean Dutoy, and Michelle Mahoney. Are there any members who are disqualified from voting on any agenda item? Oh, got it. Okay. The voting members are as follows. Basically, all members are present. Do you want me to read off each one?
No, all members present are eligible to vote.
Okay, so we'll jump into case number P20007, 311 Bolivar Street, preliminary PUD plan. We would like to ask if the applicant is present.
Not for the case, just to recognize yourself.
Yeah, just thank you, sir. Okay. Let's see. We have not received or reviewed requests for continuance. Are there any requests for continuance? Seeing none. Okay. Are there any requests to reorder the agenda? Seeing none.
No.
Okay, and Ian, will you please read the format of the hearing in order of the testimony?
Thank you. I would like to briefly describe the procedures of the commission. The proceedings of the meeting are being recorded, so please step forward to the microphone when you speak and give your name and address for the record. The standard order for each case is as follows. After the introduction of the request by city staff, the applicant or their consultants will provide information on the request. The opening presentation by the applicant shall be limited to 10 minutes unless additional time is granted by the commission. The applicant shall have 3 additional minutes for closing testimony if requested. We will then ask to hear from supporters of the request. We will then ask to hear from opponents of the request. We will then ask to hear from anyone else who wishes to speak on the request. Testimony shall be limited to 3 minutes each unless additional time is granted by the commission. City staff will then make their recommendations on the request. In order to reduce the time necessary to hear an application, references to printed material, including staff reports and applicable findings, shall not be read into the record unless directed by the commission. The commission will close testimony from the floor. The commission will then discuss the proposal, then publicly make its determination with reasons. The form of the motion shall be positive, that is, the motion shall be made to accept the request as presented or with modifications, stipulations, or conditions. A final vote will be taken with ayes in favor and nays opposed. The chairman shall announce the results of the vote, specifying the number of votes cast in favor and the number of votes cast against. The following items are entered as exhibits for all items under consideration at this meeting. the city code of the city of Jefferson as amended, the comprehensive plan and land use map, copies of the application under consideration, a list of property owners to whom notices were sent, the affidavit of the publication of the public notice in the newspaper, copies of drawings, plans, and/or renderings under consideration, letters and memoranda from staff, staff reports, minutes of proceedings, correspondence or other materials submitted by the public or the applicant, rules of procedure for the Jefferson City Planning and Zoning Commission. These items are public record and available for inspection in the Department of the Planning and Protective Services or through the Office of the City Clerk. Please be advised that any items that are presented, distributed, or otherwise received pertaining to the cases under consideration become property of the Commission. This includes any photographs, drawings, petitions, and letters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Okay, now we will, can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as printed? All in favor, say, do we want to? Sorry.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. All
Aye.
opposed, say nay.
One at a time.
Motion carries. Okay, we'll do the approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of August 13, 2020?
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Seeing none, motion carries. Okay, we don't have any communications received, is that correct? None?
Correct. No communications received.
Okay, so on to new business. We have case number P20007, 311 Bolivar Street, preliminary PUD plan, request filed by Oak Brook Properties LLC property owner for the preliminary PUD plan to construct a 2,500 square foot building to use that will include a coffee shop, retail uses, and an apartment for short and long-term rental use. Staff report from Ian.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not used to sitting over on that side of things. I'd like to point out the location of the property. The property is located here, attached to the intersection of West McCarty Street and Bolivar. The property is zoned PUD, planned unit development. Here we have an air photo of the property. The applicant has submitted a site plan here, and I'm just going to zoom in on that so you can see it a little better. So I just want to point out a couple of different aspects of the site plan for you to take note of. The applicant is requesting a PUD plan for the property for the uses, as was said before, and mainly for a roastery and retail and short-term rental. The parking lot area, there's two parking lot areas, one here, the main parking lot area with 17 spaces, and one here. Parking off of this parking area will come in off of Wallway. Important to know off of Wallway here is that it serves as an access to the fire station. There was concern about that access being blocked or obstructed, and so the applicant has stated that the parking will be parallel to Wallway, run parallel to Wallway, the parking space here, and that it'll be separated from Wallway, the parking stall itself, by a retaining wall as to not obstruct that entrance to the fire station. So there'd be no loss of width from for the right of way. They also have an area for a bioswale here for stormwater, which Shane will talk about in a little bit. Now the typical setback for commercial, general commercial in the city of Jefferson is 25 feet from the property line. This building will be built closer to the property line than 25 feet. It'll be about 6 feet from the property line. And that is that's part of the application process that they can propose where that building will be located. And it is in line with other buildings that are along Bolivar Street or built at or on the front property line, so it is not out of the character of the area for that. There will be, yep, and then here is a layout of the building itself with a coffee shop and roastery, and above here you have a short-term rental. The applicant is here to present, and if you have any questions, I can answer those questions as well. Yes.
This is just preliminary. We will have another look to see what the building's going to look like, the facade, and how it all fits into the, or is that going to be done administratively? Because there's been a lot of money spent across the street and down the street to kind of fit in a new scape coming towards town, and I hate to see a Butler building just thrown up there.
Sure. And the applicant will be able to speak more to the design of the building, but the final plan will be approved administratively with all final PDDs.
I've got a quick question.
Yes.
The 2 parking spaces in the back,
Yes.
they would still use it accessing via the alley?
Yes,
Oh.
they will access those 2 parking spaces via wallway.
Okay. Just I didn't see the approach like the other parking lot, so I didn't know how that was accessed.
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
kind of see that here.
Do any other commissioners have any questions for Ian? Okay. We'll have Shane do a staff report.
I can briefly go over the existing infrastructure in the area. There's an existing drainage inlet system down at the corner of Bolivar Street and West McCarty Street, which would likely be the tie-in for the bioswale or detention area. There is an existing sanitary sewer that runs along the frontage of Bolivar Street for the entire frontage of the property, so that should be easily accessible for access to the sewer for the building. The utilities are shown on the plan. I believe the underground telephone is on that side of the road. Water is also, I believe, is on the water and gas, I believe, are on the other side of the roadway. And then, like I say, sewer is also going down the alleyway as well. Access to the site would be from Bolivar or from the wallway, and then the sidewalk does exist along the frontage on Bolivar Street.
Okay.
That's all I have at this point in time.
Do you, I've got a question for you. It's probably not a big deal, but because it's on this lot itself, there's no issues with railroad or anything like that. Because I knew that there was an issue with the Theos. Didn't they have to get approval from somebody about something?
That's in regard to the railroad?
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as this lot, everything is proposed is on their property. I'm not aware of anything that would involve the railroad at this time. But
Yeah, and it was just a general question.
Yeah.
I didn't think there would be.
right, as far as I know, there wouldn't be any need to access anything on their property at this, or
Right.
on the Missouri Pacific at this point, or Union Pacific at this time.
No, it doesn't matter.
I believe perhaps on the Theos it was a floodplain issue.
Oh, is that what it was?
That was a major item of concern there, that they had to go through and do a few things in order to comply with floodplain regulations.
Got it, okay. Does anybody do the commissioners have any questions for Shane? Nope. Okay. Who would like to present this case? And what you'll do is state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Shaper-Cutter. I'm the managing member of Oakbrook Properties, LLC. My wife and I are equal members of LLC from a percentage basis, 50 each. My address is 320 Nishadzi Bluff. I have to spell the name of our street as often as I have to spell my last name, believe it or not, Nishodse, Bluff. It's here in Jeff City on the east side of town.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. My wife and I at Oak Grove Properties bought this property from the Housing Authority. Well, it's been a process. They had an open bid process. We bought it back in, or were approved back in August or so of 2019. I discovered that there were some issues environmentally there because this was the former home of Capital City Oil Company. And so the Housing Authority went through the phase 1 and 2, and the property is cleared for any use that we might decide to use there. We actually closed because of that delay in July, and here we are with this PUD application. As Ian said, it's zoned PUD already, and our request, of course, is to have the City Planning and Zoning Commission, as well as the City Council, has to approve our site plan with all of the details that are to be provided. I want to deal with Mr. Deacon's question first. When we made our proposal to the Housing Authority, they wanted to see what we were doing as well because they had an interest in making sure that we weren't going to put up a Butler building or something like that. We've employed an architect, the Berensons out of Ashland, who are going to be drawing up a set of plans for the building. It's going to be, I don't even know how to explain it, a very, very modern, but not contemporary. Does that make sense? A nice building, a two-story building over the first, likely the topmost part of that building, and then a one-story building with a vaulted ceiling over the second part as we go forward. So it's going to be a very nice building. I have pictures that I could show you if I had them with me, but I don't, unfortunately. Again, coffee roastery, coffee shop, office space for that business, short-term or long-term rental, whatever happens above a part of the building. The building's going to face, as you can tell, the building's going to face toward McCarty Street. We are positive that's going to be a very nice addition to the area, not anything that anybody's going to look at and say, what did you do? I'd be happy, and I know that you all have information, and I don't want to be repetitive necessarily. I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody might have.
I have a question about just the layout in general.
Okay.
Is it the upper floor? I'm assuming the basement part, kind of in general, it's going to be a two-story.
Mm-hmm.
The basement part is going to be the coffee shop, and then the upper level will be the apartment or the Airbnb, and the parking will be on a same level. As
Yeah, what you're looking at right there, the lower level will contain the roastery. The plan is to have the roastery, thank you, Anna, the roastery up to that's actually the west, the coffee shop down to the east, and a connector, that's going to be office space in there, a patio for some outdoor seating. Then over to the right is the second story. Above, and frankly, we're still trying to figure out what works best from our perspective where that second story B&B goes. Regardless, it's going to be a two-story building by appearances, or a story and a half over part of it for the entire building. And then the upper part over most of the coffee shop is going to be a vaulted ceiling. And one of the issues for us here is there has to be what's it called? Fire
protection?
Yeah, it has to be fire separation between the roastery and anything above it.
Right.
Because of
If there was a fire, you don't want the tenants to.
exactly. So that's going to go into the decision about where we actually put that, over what part of the building we put that B&B.
Got it. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I actually have a question about it. It's going to be a coffee shop for sure. Was there any idea or demand in that area for a coffee shop? What was the reasoning for wanting to put a coffee shop there?
Well, the existing coffee business that my daughter and son-in-law have is 3-story coffee. They currently have 3 locations in Jeff City at the Mill Bottom with a kind of a walk-through walk-through retail place down on Dunklin Street with their main shop. And then the roastery building is right across the street from here at 621 West McCarty. They use that for office and roastery space. And this is going to give them and us a chance to consolidate those locations into one place.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to also thank the staff for their help with putting all of this together. They were very helpful as we went through that process. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of this request? So please come forward. Just want to give your name and address?
Sure. My name's Joe Bryan. I live at 304 Bolivar. It's top of the street there, and I'm in favor of this project.
Let's see here. Is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition of this request? Please come forward. No? Seeing none? Is there anybody that would like to just speak in general about this request? No, seeing none. Okay, so we will now close testimony and Ian's staff report.
Staff recommends approval of the proposed preliminary PUD plan. The proposed use of the property is consistent with land use pattern found along Bolivar Street.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Ian? Seeing none. All right. Thank you, sir. Shane, anything to add?
Briefly go over the site improvements. As the applicant had indicated and Ian had indicated, there is a bioswale extended detention basin for the area for the project shown on the southern portion of the property. The drainage from the building and from all the parking lot pavement would need to drain to this basin area. The final plan will need to show how that will be accomplished. As I had indicated before, the sewer runs along Bolivar Street, and that connection would have to be made there to the building, from the building to that main. As far as street access, sidewalk, and parking, the sidewalk exists along the frontage of Bolivar. Access to the site will be from Bolivar Street and from the alleyway. We'd want to see site distance and the clearance for the site triangle, which doesn't look to be a problem anyway at the preliminary stage. As far as for the new driveway, that need to be quantified on the final site plan. In talking with our city engineer, the city has plans to eventually improve a greenway trail from basically down to Missouri Boulevard, where the trailhead exists there on Dunklin Street, all the way to the trailhead up at the West Main Street next to the on-ramp there at the Highway 5463 on-ramp near the bridge. This would replace that existing sidewalk along Bolivar Street. That would be a future project, but at this time we'd like to see, as far as the final design, that the ramps for the crossing there at the drive approach be built to accommodate that future greenway, so that basically we wouldn't have to come back in and tear out the driveway in the future. As far as utilities go, it appears that all those facilities are existing in the vicinity for them to be able to utilize. Streetlights and fire hydrants also exist along Bolivar Street as needed, and we would also recommend approval of the plan.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Shane? I have one, and that is the bioswale. Is that a new term?
Basically.
I know it's what it is, but
Right.
is it?
An extended detention basin for the quality, you'd have to hold the water for a certain amount of time, basically 6 to 72 hours in order to treat it. You can also add green vegetative type water tolerant plants. That's typically what we'll see in a bioswale of some type. It could be grasses, it could be small shrubs. It just kind of depends on what's proposed and what the owner would want to maintain in the future.
Got it. Okay. Do any commissioners have any questions for staff? All right. Seeing none, would someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the preliminary PUD plan with the establishment of an underlying zoning of C2 General Commercial for the purpose of determining uses for signage and lighting.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All right, seeing none. Motion passes. Ian, when would this be going to the city council?
This will be going to the city council October 19th. At 6 p.m. here in this chamber.
October 19th, 6 p.m. Got it. Thank you. Okay, moving on to other business.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Ryan, the other item of business we have is on comprehensive plan, presentation, and election of officers. You better stay on for the election of officers.
Okay, so I have something very exciting to share with the Planning and Zoning Commission. Ian is currently passing out the draft comprehensive plan. And as the steering committee, you guys have been involved for quite a while about this update process. So I'm just going to quickly go over a few things. We have discussed several theme discussions with the commission to showcase the planning themes that are most relevant to the draft comprehensive plan. Those planning themes include housing and neighborhoods, land use, transportation, economic development, environmental resiliency, and capital culture and healthy lifestyles. So, what has all this hard work translated into? The draft comprehensive plan. And this is a hierarchy of items that you will see in the plan. So we've got the vision statement at the very top. This is the guiding essence of the plan. Think about that utopian image of Jefferson City, the where we want to be, all in one statement. And then we've got the 6 planning themes. Each planning theme that I just mentioned from the previous slide has its own corresponding chapter. And then there will be a principle associated with each theme, aka each chapter. And then there are the goals, Those are value statements that reach towards that vision or principle. The objectives expand upon that goal, and then there are also strategies, which are the action items associated with achieving said goal or objective. And all of the strategies are in its own chapter. Chapter 9, we're calling it the action plan of the comprehensive plan. So, why am I giving you this draft right now? Well, we are hopefully going to be having a full presentation about the contents of this plan at the October 15th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. And I would like for everyone to read the plan. So then on that October date, you can provide us with any comments on the draft plan. If we decide that we are all on the same page, staff and commission, with the contents of the draft plan, then we will be discussing our plans for the final community engagement phase to put this document out before the public, receive their comments, and then develop a final plan. If you prefer to view this document electronically, there is a PDF linked on our Planning and Zoning Division tab on the city's website. Any questions? Have fun reading.
Yeah. Did you type
Yeah.
who put all this together? Who typed all this?
Yeah.
This is amazing. I mean, there's a lot of content here and a lot to review, but thank you. You guys have worked so hard on this.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have one question, Mr. Chair, if I could ask her. On how long do you expect the presentation to be at the next meeting?
Oh, I mean, I could be talking upward to 30 to 45 minutes on everything that's within that plan.
Probably without question.
Yeah. But good things. You guys have seen a lot of this information before, so it'll be going over the goals, the topic research, and what that would mean towards the action items in the plan.
Okay, great.
Thank
Any
you.
questions for Anna? No?
Have fun.
Great
And if you
job.
have any questions while you're reviewing it, please let me know.
We'll state the plan is on the website, correct? Okay, so it is on the website. It is publicly available. It is a draft plan. We are anxious to receive comments on it from the public, and certainly wouldn't want anyone to read it thinking it's a final product. This is the next phase of the thing, and so it's out there. We're planning to distribute it to the city council so they get a look at it too. But you all are the steering committee, and so that's why it's important to make sure that you're aware of your lead role in the review of this document and the process as it moves forward.
How are you going about soliciting feedback from the public on it?
So we'll have several open houses where people will be able to attend a meeting and review the content, but we'll also have online surveys, and we'll be engaging with stakeholders one-on-one about the content of the plan. Then lots of social media and and advocating for this process, so as many people as possible understand that this is occurring.
So basically, it'll be in the newspaper, things like that, right?
Correct.
I have a question. And so we'll actually be able to share that on our social media channels? Is that?
We would encourage it.
Mr. Chair, perhaps Onyx should give a brief overview of the timeline for the rest of the plan development.
It's a great idea.
So I didn't bring my cute graphic that showcases the timeline, but once we open up that next public engagement phase, it'll be a couple of months before we then can refine the plan, and then we put it back in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission for final approval and adoption. More details? Or is that what you're looking for? Okay. Yeah, and July 2021 is hopefully when this will be adopted. Yeah, considering everything that's going on.
When you start soliciting feedback from the public, you would share the link.
Yeah, and I provided this tool last community engagement phase, but I'll develop sort of an outreach packet for everyone, some draft language for social media, appropriate links, the survey link for SurveyMonkey, so everyone can share as much as possible. And we also encourage, if there are other boards and commissions that want a presentation about the comprehensive plan, I would be happy to go before anybody, nonprofit, any sort of group that would want to hear information about the comp plan.
Whenever social media is posted, is it sponsored social media? Do you pay for, or do you just hope that people that follow the City of Jefferson Facebook page pick up on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we predominantly use Facebook, and there's the Facebook boosting
So you do
mechanism
paid ads.
that helps push out. I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know much about Facebook, but it works apparently.
Right.
And then with the mayor, we can sort of get some traction with some other,
Right,
like
in hopes that other
Instagram,
people
Twitter,
that see it
social
will
media.
forward it on, and other people will see it, forward it
Yeah,
on. Okay.
correct.
Because, I know a lot of younger people probably don't read the newspaper, so social media is probably the best.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take up this topic just to give a little background and try to describe where we are as a commission. So, with the departure of Mr. Chris Jordan, the position of chair is set vacant for a couple months now. Dale Vaughn had been elected as vice chair a couple months prior to Chris's departure. We still intend to drag Chris back here for a formal farewell. With everything going on, we didn't think it was quite an appropriate time for that quite yet. But in his absence, we are left without a chair, and so we have it on the agenda to fill that position. And I would dare say fill any other resulting vacant positions. If, for example, Mr. Vaughn were to be elected chair, then we would go ahead and fill the vice chair position as well. It is up to the commission on how to proceed with that. And a couple different options I would throw out there is the commission could table this matter for another month. You continue to sit as we are right now with Mr. Vaughn in a vice chair position and being the first person in line to chair a meeting. The last meeting when Mr. Vaughn could not be in attendance, Penny Quigg was elected as the first item of business at that meeting in order to fill that chair position for a single meeting. So you could table it over to another month. Or proceed with the election. Elections are generally require a nomination, so someone's got to nominate someone, and there needs to be a second for that nomination. And then after that, there's an opportunity for another nomination. However many nominations might come up, and then an election is held. Should there only be one nomination, then it becomes basically a simple vote, and if that vote carries, then it would be final. If for some reason that vote didn't carry, then we'd have to take the matter up again. With that, I will sit back and let you all discuss.
So I nominate Dale to see if the Peter Principle truly goes forward.
Well, thank you.
See if
I
it happens,
appreciate
guy.
that. But then we have to vote on a vice chair.
Right. So, I wanted to just ask if there's been any discussions, like has anyone said, I want to be
Right.
chair, I want to be vice chair? Are you willing to move up from vice chair to chair? Is that your?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second the nomination.
Thank you. Well, I had been asked to do, I think it was vice chair a while back, but at the time I kind of had my foot out the door of Jeff City. I was going to move. That's changed. I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. So now that I'm going to be here forever.
You must have found a girl from here.
I did. I did, actually, yes. Yep. We've been dating since January, for the whole world to know. No. I actually, and the reason I was so late this evening is because I leave for Mexico tomorrow. So, with her. Anyways, I'm not getting married. Don't worry about it. But so, anyways, I've agreed to do the chairman position. But yeah, somebody will have to step up and do vice chair. Is anybody? I don't know. Penny.
Well, first
or
we have
you?
to vote on the chair, I think.
We do, but
Yeah.
I think the question is anybody interested in being vice chair? Right? Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, should we vote on the motion that's at hand, though? I mean.
Sure.
Either way.
To cease nominations and that Dale be elected by acclamation.
I'll second. Where's the Ryan tell if we did it wrong?
He's not speaking up, and that is how I've seen it done before.
would somebody like to make a motion? Is
Well,
that what
now he's talking.
Yeah,
Or is that in
Ryan
favor?
said
You
that's
second
the
it?
right procedure.
Now, can I nominate Penny to be vice chair?
Wait.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to vote on that first motion for me to be chairman. Dale Vaughn. And there was already been a motion and a second, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. None? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep, so the position of vice chair is open. I forgot to add that alternates are not eligible for either position. So Penny is not an alternate. The alternates are Mr. Butler and Shannon Hawk. Ms. Hawk, thank you.
I think Penny's had a lot of experience with a number of important committees she's been in throughout the county, so.
I nominate Penny to be vice chair.
I'll second that nomination.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, wait, is that, or do we have a discussion? Is that what you want to say?
We definitely need discussion
Yeah,
and
is
just
there any
an
discussion on
opportunity. So make sure she's
Willing.
willing. Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Seeing none, motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
All right.
Just for informational purposes, I believe I sit as the secretary for the Planning and Zoning Commission. Regular elections are held in May, so the terms that were just elected will be held until the month of May, when a new election is held by the Planning and Zoning Commission. So. And the reason we picked May is a lot of terms expire. I'm sorry, I think it's actually June, but the terms expire in May. And so it's immediately after expiration where new members would come on board, and so then the new members have that opportunity to participate in the election.
So I wouldn't expect that you would know the history, but has this ever like happened before? Because I feel like it's been, we had Chris Yarnell move out, and then so therefore I was then vice chair, correct? Or no?
I think it is a bit of a rarity
Yeah.
that the turnover was so fast.
Yeah.
And it's a little concerning
Right.
because we want experienced people sitting in this chair. Of course, you've been sitting around for a while. I think the only the only area where you probably don't have a whole lot of experience is actually chairing the meeting.
Right.
But it seems like you're catching on quick. So, and we're excited to teach you too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I've been meaning to call you in and to go over some matters, and it's just been really hard with everything going on.
Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec. You all seen that? So.
Go back and watch how Ralph Robinette controlled you.
Oh, yeah?
People were calling this
Oh,
fires and
I remember. I remember.
he could control, he?
Yeah, and Chris did too.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I guess the meeting adjourned. No. Oh, sorry. You're right.
Staff updates. Do we have a?
Very good.
There was the case from last month will be heard this coming week at the City Council, this upcoming Monday, I believe. And that is it. That was the rezoning off of Route C and CC.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Good? Okay.
Declaration to adjourn.
I declare this meeting adjourned.
Thank you all, and certainly thank you all, especially during these times. We are thrilled to death to be able to continue governmental services, which would not be possible if you did not come to help us do so. As always, if anyone has any concerns with the conduct of the meeting or anything, feel free to contact me directly and we can discuss.